Stay in school. I think that's what my mother told me when I was 19. Unfortunately, it didn't stick then. But I'm actually graduating in a couple of weeks with degrees in economics and another one in political science, and I am actually continuing my education going for my master's in economics. So this upcoming spring, despite running for U.S. Senate, I'll actually be in two economics courses. One, which is economics of public policy, which of course is something that every politician should take. And the other is economics of healthcare, which I think will be really, really fascinating. And again, so important for everything that we're talking about today. But when you talk about foreign influence and politics, policies, and in particular when we talk oil, oh my goodness, it's such a fascinating experience. When you look at OPEC and Russia, the battle and the challenge that they had in 2020 at the start of COVID, so as demand dropped, right? Everybody was being told to stay home. We were driving less. So consequently, the demand for oil dropped, and oil dropped down to $45 a barrel. Well, what OPEC and Russia didn't do is they didn't reduce supply at that point, which would have driven price back up. And they did it for a couple of reasons. First of all, they were battling with each other. So we get into a little bit of strategy and game theory, which I love to study. So they were battling with each other over who could capture a larger portion of the market. But they were doing it at almost no profit, if not in some cases a loss. But the other thing that it did is that it shut the United States out of the market. Because in order to drill a well here in the United States normally costs somewhere between $50 and $70 a barrel. So when we were down at $45 a barrel, it was not economically feasible for companies, oil companies here in the United States, to actually drill and to create new wells. So as demand has increased now, as COVID is slightly released, or maybe not, I guess, but as demand has risen, as we have returned to driving, now what that's done is that jacked prices, oil prices up to as high as about $80 to $85 a barrel. And that's the point now where it starts to become feasible, possibly for the United States to get back into the game. Except that they weren't interested in doing so because of additional fears of COVID. We just saw the Omicron variation come out, and the conversation about that, it dropped the stock market by several percent, and people were concerned about it. And it also dropped oil prices down to about $62, $63 a barrel, which is below what Texas needs, what the U.S. needs in order to drill new wells. And so what Saudi Arabia and OPEC and Russia want to do is keep the price point where the Americans won't actually get in so that it's cheaper for us to buy oil from overseas. So it is a fascinating thing to discuss. We're going to do so many more videos talking about it, but thank you very much for the comments. I appreciate it. Looking forward to continuing these conversations. Take care.